Professor Owen Smith from Our Lady's Children's Hospital Crumlin details his support of Barretstown and the psychosocial benefits he has witnessed in children, teens and families who have attended Barretstown.
A lot of the things that we cannot do in Crumlin, we can give the treatment, we can look after them when they're really, really sick, but in relation again to the psychosocial aspects of their therapy, Barretstown comes into its own in that sense. We can't do that. We can't give them those play areas, those activity areas that Barretstown can fulfill. And I'm not just talking about the younger children, I'm also talking about young and older adolescents. And I believe that Barretstown does fulfill those needs, especially in the older children. Yeah, I mean, I've just seen two families this morning in the clinic who've been to Barretstown relatively recently. Those two families have been in Crumlin for 6 weeks at a time. They went to Barretstown, and what it gave both sets of parents was the ability to actually let go in relation to activity for the children, where when they were cooked up in the hospital or even at home when they went home first, they were so protective of the children. But once they got to Barretstown, once activity started to happen, they could see that the child was becoming so-called normal again, and it sort of does have a profound psychological effect on the parents and also on the children. So there's huge psychosocial gains here in relation to the activities of Barretstown. In relation to the MedShed in Barretstown, we would consider it as another part of our shared care programme. We share care with 16 different hospitals around the country, bona fide hospitals, and we would consider the MedShed as one of those shared care areas. For example, we have every confidence that if a child becomes unwell in Barretstown, that we would get notification straight away and that child can be transported up here in real time. So again, it's part of our shared care programme. There are medics available there, and if the child needs to be shifted, that child is shifted in real time. We don't in this country up till now have a designated adolescent cancer or haematology centre. We've been speaking to the HSC about this, and that will probably happen in the next 2 to 3 years. But what we can do in the meantime in relation to places like Barretstown is actually enhance the adolescent programmes, where these adolescents, whether to be treated in Crumlin or in an adult hospital, they can come and group into that setting in Barretstown that will have huge knock-on beneficial effects in terms of the psychosocial aspects of their disease. It's not all about giving chemotherapy to adolescents, it's all about the holistic approach that they need to be bought into. So Barretstown gives us an ideal opportunity to incorporate an adolescent programme as well. Well, I think it's a very, most of the children will have been cooked up in this hospital for a number of months having their treatment. There's also anxiety levels that soar within the families and also within the children themselves. And I think it's a very, very nice way of actually chilling or decanting some of the anxieties that these families get. And all the sort of families that I've interviewed in relation to their experience in Barretstown has been that actually does happen, that they come away from Barretstown very much more chilled, very much more at ease with their child's diagnosis, and it gives them a better sense of coping. It also has a huge psychosocial impact on the families as well. They actually cope much better when they go back into normal society after visiting Barretstown.